Evening guys, hope you're all doing well. Currently enjoying a bowl of HU Flanagan Flake, which is a really good blend actually. Again, it's one of those HU blends which I believe I tried, I don't know, maybe about 9 or 10 months ago, possibly even towards the end of last year, when I was continuing my exploration of HU. Not sure if I've actually really talked about the blend before on the channel, but if I recall, it's a Virginia, Burley, Kentucky, Perique, Oriental, so kind of a big mix match of different tobaccos. But of course, as with all HU blends, it's fantastic. Definitely got a bit more kind of body and strength to it than a few others. That's probably to do with the Kentucky and the Burley though, that's inside it. But again, pretty smooth. And not many harsh edges. I do find some Burley blends, especially, but also some Kentucky blends can be a bit harsh. And this blend can be if you're kind of puffing away at it, but if you're just kind of casually smoking it, it's perfectly fine. But yeah, filming this Sunday evening after a very, very busy week. I had a lot of work to do this week, including the pipes of the year, which, if you're watching this, they went live yesterday. There are still a few available from the original 5. So if you are interested in those, jackgrahampipes.com. I believe there's one filtered, I'm not sure. But I know there's at least one filtered and one non-filtered available. Because again, I wanted there to be sure that there was choice for people. Of course, I smoke filtered pipes, but not everyone does. So I do always ensure that my pipes are both filtered and non-filtered. But speaking of pipes of the year, I think I actually might use that rod stock for a pipe of my own. If you guys watch my live, you will have seen me talk about this block here. This block is a block from my original high-end, kind of high-grade batch of briar I bought about 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, when I was doing not just pipe work but other work with wood, and I also required high-grade briar. And this was a lot of essentially Mimo briar, which is what I mainly use 95% of the time anyway. But it was a mixture of grade 1 and grade 2. There was 1 or 2 grade 1 blocks in there, in the lot, which are gone now, and there was a lot of grade 2. And this is what the grade 2 blocks left. And the graining's really nice, good grain, that wraps around, but especially the plateau, if you can see, it's not as kind of bumpy and kind of I'm trying to think of the word, but it's a lot more uniform than other plateaus you see. And what this indicates is that the bird's eye underneath this should be amazing. I can see from the top side lots of tight pools of bird's eye. So I imagine that the base of this pipe will be equally, if not even more, bird's eye full orientated, which I'm excited for. So that's essentially, this is the pipe shape I plan to go for, kind of a bent Rhodesian, hopefully. And I was originally just going to stick with black. If you look at my pipes behind, all of them apart from one have a black stem, because I just like, I think black stems go with anything, any colour, any shape of pipe, or some don't. However, the purple and black that I use for the pipes of the year, I think is fantastic. Kind of, it's so vibrant, but it's also classical because it's got that black in it, and it's not kind of a bright purple where it's really in your face. It's more subtle, but it just has a fantastic texture, fantastic graining in the ebonite. So I think that might actually be my ebonite of choice for this pipe, which I plan to make myself towards the end of this year, and it will be my first pipe of the new year. So, and I think I know what tobacco I plan on opening in the new year. For the last couple of years, at the start of the year, I open a new tobacco. It's typically a tobacco that's either quite rare, a tobacco that you would say has unicorn kind of status, or a tobacco which is aged. That's kind of the three I choose from. And a tobacco which I've had in my cellar for only about a year and a half is Python Huber Golden Virginia Flake. Now, it's a tobacco which is very iconic, for those of you who are aware of that. Prior to the regulation change, it used to be called honey Jew Flake, because it's got a slight honey topping. I'm pretty sure it's very similar to kind of Orlick Golden Size, Rainer Gold, that kind of flake. It comes in kind of the paint can style tins, and it's long belts of tobacco. I picked it up from the shop when I was there last year in Germany, and I managed to sample some in the store because I kind of went through a list of tobaccos I had, which I asked for if they had. I kind of went through bottom up, and then I came to the Golden Flake, and they had some, but they kind of had a glass jar that you could smell the tobacco and sample from. And at the time, it was fantastic. It was kind of a sweeter, smoother version of Orlick Golden Slice, I found. Not as grassy or as hay as Orlick can be. Slightly less citrus, but more that kind of sweet honey, as it was known as honey Jew Flake. So I plan to open that. I've got 2 tins in the cellar. They're 100 gram kind of paint can style tins. So if I open one, I've still got one in the cellar tucked away. So because that kind of comes into, it's not aged, well, it's a year and a half old, but that doesn't really count as aged. When I talk about an aged tobacco that I plan to open on a special occasion, it has to have at least 5 years, I say. But it's more kind of a unicorn tobacco because it's very sought after. If you are aware of Python Huber and are following of them, it's a very iconic blend. It's one that across the board is very highly rated and regarded, and it's very hard to get your hands on because you essentially have to go to the shop and buy it or get someone else to purchase it for you. So it's not an easy tobacco to get your hands on. But so that kind of falls into that category. But it's also just a blend that I'm interested to revisit. Like I said, I had a small sample of it in the shop. I must have only smoked it for 10 minutes though. So I wouldn't say that was a kind of a proper first impressions. It was also on an empty stomach, I believe. I smoked it in the morning. I think I had a coffee and that was about it. So kind of, again, I find certain tobaccos you want to kind of smoke on an empty stomach, on a full stomach, after coffee, before coffee, with different drinks to kind of really understand the flavours, because as what you've eaten can impact how certain tobaccos come across. So that being said, it will be an interesting one to go back to. And something else I highlighted, if you follow my Jack Ryan Pipes newsletter, which is available if you're a subscriber to the website. I occasionally, maybe once a month, send out a newsletter kind of stating certain updates. I sent one out yesterday highlighting the pipes of the year, but also highlighting something. I believe I posted it to my Instagram about maybe in May of this year, but I don't think I ever mentioned it on YouTube. But essentially, if you have purchased a pipe from me in 2023, so from 1st of January 2023 onwards, and it is valid until the end of this year, you will automatically be entered into a free pipe prize draw, to where it's essentially a way to give thanks to my customers and followers over the last year. Again, I announced it back in May, so it's essentially, obviously, through the website I can see all the orders and then all my commissions over the last year. So I can go through, collect all the names, essentially do an online drawing and essentially draw the winner, and that person will get a free pipe. So essentially, some people will have probably purchased a pipe of mine not knowing that you kind of automatically get entered into a draw just to win a free pipe. So yeah, I thought I would mention that again in case anyone who has purchased my pipes over the last year wasn't aware of that. And that's still valid for people who haven't yet bought one of my pipes, but still does towards the end of the year. As of course, I think I've got 3 or 4 available possibly on the website just now. And I plan to still do an available each Saturday until the end of the year. So I'm not sure what the date will be. It must be maybe the 26th or the 27th possibly, or could even be before that. I'm not sure when the last Saturday of 2023 is, but the last Saturday of 2023 will be the last available pipe posting. Essentially, any pipe that's purchased in 2023 is valid for the prize draw. And if you're based in the UK, it might be slightly more than just a pipe, of course. That concerns tobacco, but again, unfortunately, shipping tobacco internationally is a big kind of no-no if you want it to actually kind of get through unscathed. And yeah, and then following on from that, I'm hoping to do some more work to the workshop. I like this area that I've built for filming live streams, sitting and enjoying a pipe. But I hope to add a secondary light bar directly kind of hung from this slight partition I put up maybe three or 4 weeks ago, to essentially make this area a lot more bright. And it would be better for filming, like just now. Also for during the live streams, I can notice that some areas are a little bit darker than others. So having a direct light that's quite close, lower down compared to it being on the roof, should be a lot better. And also, again, I mentioned on my live a couple of times the last couple of weeks that I do plan on doing quite a large estate pipe sale towards the end of January next year, of course. I went through my collection of estate pipes and realised that for the most part I enjoy smoking my pipes. I used to enjoy collecting pipes too, and unfortunately a lot of the pipes that I have collected are non-filtered, so I don't smoke them. And over the last couple of months I've come to the realisation that I think pipes are really meant to be smoked. Even if you might only smoke them once a month or once every 6 months, if you've got a very large collection, they're meant to be smoked and enjoyed. And the pipes in my estate pipe collection that are unfiltered just don't get smoked. So because of that, I feel it's time to pass them on and let people actually smoke them. So of course there'll be a lot more about that to follow the next couple of weeks. I'm and towards the end of January, as that's when I'll probably do, say, the last week of January, the estate pipe sale. And of course I'll post about it and let people know in advance of that. However, this tobacco is burning and smoking exceptionally well. I do have to, at some point this evening, after I film this, probably organise the workshop a bit. Of course, I've essentially had so much on in the workshop this week, getting the pipes of the year finished. I also had 2 commissions I finished at the start of the week and posted out, so it's been a very, very busy week in the workshop. And it looks a bit sorry for itself, so probably time to tidy up and reorganise it. Ready for pipes next week, which again I've got a few commissions I need to get through. I hope to try and get through as many of my commissions as I can prior to the end of the year, to where hopefully come the new year there's only 1 or 2 left on my books from the lot I have just now. And for people who are interested in commissioning a pipe, my wait list just now is about 3.5 weeks as of now. But yeah, you might have also noticed that there's been a slight lack of content the last couple of weeks, essentially because I've been so busy in the workshop making the pipes. I've not had time to kind of enjoy a pipe or sit back and relax. Of course, I had my live stream on Monday night, but apart from that, I've not had time to sit down and film any content. But I do plan on filming after this, actually, when I go back inside. I'm going to go into my cellar, as I have 2 pouches of salty dogs I want to compare and kind of ask a question to the YTPC, because they're slightly different. They'll be the exact same component inside, and I believe they're the same age, but they are very different in terms of the packaging. So I want to kind of see people's thoughts and opinions on that, or if people know exactly the difference. But yeah, that being said, a bit of a Welshie's waffle on this evening, kind of just a kind of a rounded chat, updating things, the pipes of the year, what's been going on and what's to come. I do plan also hoping to get back out on maybe another walk with my pipe in the next couple of weeks, somewhere a bit more rural as I did last time, which I'll take you along for that, and maybe a little more festive video to come as we are approaching Christmas and the new year. But yeah, hope you guys take care, have a great rest of your weekend and a good week. Cheers.